Welcome, dirty peasants, to episode 9 of the Wartwood Gazzette podcast. This week we'll be covering Amphibia Season 1, Episode 1, Anne or Beast and Best Fronds. I'm your host, Thumbaticon, and joining me today we have Fall.
Hey.
And Venom.
What's up?
So, now that we're in the hiatus, and we already covered the second half of Season 2, it's nice to go back to the beginning and just pretty much look back on Season 1, and it's the Wartwood setting, which now that we've it'll be nice to look back on certain plot elements and certain character developments that happened here that later had a big impact on Season 2 down the line. So I guess there were a few bit of news this week regarding Amphibia, Matt did that interview. I forgot his name. What was the name of that YouTube channel?
The interview, the channel name is called Sit Down and Think.
Yeah, he gave a pretty lengthy interview and to talk about True Colors and stuff. It was really, if you haven't watched it already, you should check that out. And also Season 2 got added to Disney Plus yesterday, so hopefully more people will get into the show and see what it's all about. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for news. Were there any significant tweets?
The DTBA Instagram account had the Q&A for the SDCC 2021 panel.
Oh, right. So then, if you haven't got, I think Disney TVA has that on their Insta story. So if you want to try and submit a question, it's there for the taking.
Yeah, ask them to give us our physical home releases for DVD and Blu-ray.
Yeah, and there was also Matt's tweet about filler. I like that one. That was nice. It was cool.
We can't say the F word here, Fall.
Oh, I'm sorry. Matt's tweet on the F word.
We can say fuck though, because we don't want you to disable comments.
Oh yeah, we don't want it to be marked as for kids.
Right, but I guess we'll probably get right into covering Anne or Beast, which is written by Matt Brawley and Jack Ferraiolo.
Nice pronunciation skills.
Thank you, Paul. Storyboards by Kyler Spears, Jonathan Tal, and Bert Yoon, and as directed by Bert Yoon as well. So the episode, it starts with Wally is basically the first character we ever see on the show, which is, I don't know, it's just nice to think about. He's got that. He has that honor. And then we get Anne in the shadows. And then we actually just, instead of starting the show from Anne's point of view, it's pretty much the planners for these first few minutes, establishing them in Wartwood, but the town's Sprig's lessons and responsibility, and then that montage of everything that he messed up the day before. And then Wally comes back screaming about seeing the beast in the woods. And then that's when Sprig starts his quest, and we get that nice Pac-Man scene with Polly. And then eventually we get the first meeting between Anne and Sprig, and how she even though she trapped him, she eventually comes back to save him when that mantis thing is approaching them. But then the town assembles the mob and ties Anne down, but then like they had we saw the red mantis, but then like we have the green mantis show up, and then the actual like threat of the segment shows up, and that was funny. He starts like cutting down their formation, and then eventually like Anne and Sprig save the day, and then Anne is pretty much accepted into the planner's home, and Sprig is seen as responsible. So
happy ending.
Yeah, it was a happy ending, and it was a nice it was a really nice, like, fun introduction to the world.
It was a nice way to set the tone of the story. You know.
What were your thoughts, Venom?
It's actually nice that they introduced the supporting cast before we to see the town folks, the supporting characters before like we set our scenes on the planters and our full introduction to Anne.
Yeah, like we get that first shot of Wartwood, and it really like it takes its time to show like this is just like a small town, that small town life, and it's like a very like calm and well, we know later on that Wartwood is like anything but calm, but like here it's like a moment of tranquility, and then and then we get that like that rented little slug or that discount Bessie. I don't know what to call that.
Yeah,
and
the snail was weird.
Yeah,
the
like
snail was weird,
I'm guessing they didn't have a design for Bessie yet.
Yeah, maybe.
Not yet. I don't think.
Or maybe there's like some explanation for that. I don't know.
But then I know Best Fronds was the second episode. Like Anner Beast wasn't the first episode like boarded.
I know that was Grubhub Day, right?
And then now that I think about it, did Bessie show up in that episode?
I don't think she did.
No.
Yeah. I don't know. that's a little bit of a plot hole, I guess. It's like a tiny thing. It's not really that important. But still, it's funny.
The real important question is, where was Bessie? Because she's, of course, the main character.
In the void.
We also have Toadstool. Like at this time, Toadstool was still running for mayor, I think. Or was that just like a campaign?
It was probably just like a thing to get him, like to get people to vote for him during the election, the upcoming election. So he's probably still mayor.
Yeah, he was still mayor. I'm guessing like he started campaigning that early on. Actually,
yeah, just to get his image up. Yeah, to get his image up. I guess it was nice. It was a nice introduction to the characters.
At this point, like Polly, because I think I remember early on in season 1, like Polly was always seen as the more like responsible sibling until like we got her like I guess until we got more of her like her own episode. I think it was Girl Time. That's when we established like Polly was more of like was also more rebellious, because like here she's more the voice of reason.
Yeah, I mean,
Sprig's antics.
I think she still is the voice of reason, but she is rebellious too. I don't know. It's like a mix of both. It really depends. Like she doesn't really do stupid things that often, but she is still rebellious in like a different way, I guess.
Yeah, I remember trying to get my sister to watch the show. Like I would just show her Polly clips because she loved the character. She like just starts eating the candy, like the Pac-Man candy scene, and her voice is like so like nasally. It's cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
When Anne first shows up, like we already saw the promos, but like I wish Anne's first I remember Anne's appearance in like in a promo where they show the shot of like her panning up and she like looks like like deranged, and the one shoe. I remember like that was such like a memorable moment in the promos that we had. Like I don't know, it's just because at the time like I was just used to Star being
Oh
like,
god.
because like Star was like a princess and stuff, so it's like I'm used to that kind of like protagonist, and just seeing Anne like with a crazed look in her eye, like all dirty, one shoe, like coming out of the forest holding a spear. It's like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, and like it's not like it even changes throughout the show. Like she's still, she's throughout the entire
Yeah,
thing,
she's
like all dirty. So I get how that could be a change, I
yeah for
guess,
two
from
seasons.
whatever. Yeah. All she gets like as a change is like the armor, and that's it in season 2.
Yeah, and then like season 3, she'll finally get her other shoe.
Yeah, she'll finally get clean clothes.
And
Oh
then
man.
like also we get that. I don't know why I remember this, but like, or why I'm so fixated on this is just they mention like Wally mentions Anne has like the face bump, like her nose, and then like when Sprig sees it again, like they animate
Um,
Anne's nose like sniffing. It
the
was just such a
cat's
weird close up.
my cat's walking on my keyboard.
Oh,
Um, yeah, yeah. I like the show. I like how the show has like those weird close-ups. It's funny. Get off.
Close-up shots similar to the to those SpongeBob episodes.
Yeah, with like the hatching style.
Hmm.
Those are funny.
I guess like the first meeting between Anne and Sprig, like so Anne says that she doesn't know how she like she pretty much lies to like Sprig the first time he asks like how did you get here. She just says I don't know. Then like later at the segment we see her open the box and she like knows. She pretty much knows like that's how she got to Amphibia. Which I guess it makes sense that she doesn't want to like tell like a stranger she just met about it.
True, true.
Yeah.
What else happened when the townsfolk said something before they started the mob? Like, oh yeah, I'm surprised because I know like Anne's not gonna die, so they probably just let the townsfolk say like have the mob and talk about killing Anne.
Like jokingly.
Because I know like I swear I thought like I'm pretty sure like I've heard somewhere in the past that like Disney is like really careful about like saying kill, and then we see like discount Bessie again when like Hop Hop like comes out of the store and he's just so like he's used to the town like starting up a mob. He's like, what does he say? He just says, "Oh, just another day in Wartwood."
No, I think he said like uh
Oh, another day,
another
another
day,
mob.
another mob. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's got really good. Amphibia has really good one-liners. It's got good humor. That's like a good part about it. It's the humor. Oh, it usually lands like 90% of the time.
Oh, like and then like Hop Hop coming back to the car and just seeing like Polly lying there surrounded by the rappers.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Um,
like got stomachache that quick, like with a short amount of candy that Sprig gave her.
I mean, she's a baby.
Chuck wrote the first high scene in the show. Yeah, that's true. Like she looks like passed out like after eh, I shouldn't finish that sentence. Like a night party.
Okay.
And then and then Anne's eating the shrooms.
Oh my god. Nice, nice one. There's not
I
really
guess do we
a lot to. There's not really a lot to go
we
over
could
for
we could
energy.
talk about we could talk about the part where Anne when Anne catches like the mantis's arm and that's like the we see
The eye
Her
those
glow.
like
eye
those blue
glow.
the eye
Yeah.
glow, yeah.
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 A little
Oh,
minor
just an animation error. Don't worry.
a
Yeah,
minor
there's
um
a lot of back and forth at the time.
Oh my god, yeah. I don't know.
Um,
For some reason, like
um,
this fandom sucks at like determining what is and isn't an animation error.
a minor misconception, obviously.
I mean, like I kind of get it because like at this early on, and like Anne's like pupils are so tiny in these scenes. Like
Yeah, but still, like it has a glow effect. Like, come on, you don't do that on. Like,
It ha- it's
there's
a
no other.
reason why it has to be there.
Yeah, like it's not like it's solid color. There's no reason why you would have to even use that tool. Since everything else is like cell shaded in Anne's design.
yeah, like the fade is what makes it like obvious. If it just stayed blue the whole time, then
Then
like
yeah, then I could see how
I could
people could.
see,
It's an animation error, but
yeah,
it was glowing, like
exactly. But then
obvious.
yeah, if there was like a deliberate like change,
Yeah.
and like I'm guessing, do we think her powers were holding back the mantis arm, or was that just like
I think yeah,
the girls
probably
like
because I don't know. They all she seemed to get like stronger whenever she had the eye glows. And I don't know, like even in uh even in Barrel's Warhammer, it helped Sasha get the hammer out. So
yeah,
it
because like
probably
sometimes
it probably does
yeah,
stuff for
because like
strength.
yeah, because like sometimes in this show, like I'm not sure like what is like. Sometimes it might be the gems helping them, and sometimes it just might be like that the girls in the show like are just naturally like more durable. Because I remember like Sasha and like Toadcatcher getting like thrown at a rock, and the rock is cracking. I'm like, did the gem help her with that? Like, and break her fall or
Breaker
cushion the
fall.
impact?
Huh, huh. Awkward. Yeah, maybe. Uh, sure. Let's go with that. Um, mm, I don't know. There's not really a lot to talk about with Anne or Beast because it really just sets the tone for the story. But the eye glow was really good foreshadowing for what was to come and like hinting. So yeah, that was a really nice detail.
And then like at the end, when like Hop Hop is like proud of Sprig, and like Sprig says big win, and I remember on the subreddit, I think some people like even I thought like maybe like that the big win thing might be Sprig's like catchphrase, but then like it never happened again.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I think that was like just a reference to like casino games, you know? So I don't know. I didn't take it as like it would be his catchphrase at all.
And then when the mountain like when Hop Hop mentions like the mountains are like the path through the mountains is like frozen over, like this is the first time we get a map, the first of many maps that are like inaccurate to the show.
Yeah, the
Because like
maps in this show, like none of them add up. What were you gonna say?
oh yeah, I was just gonna say like in Hop Hop's map, like it looks like the entire mountain is like the entire valley is like surrounded by mountains, but we know like in the show it's just like like one. I think the northeastern side of the town is has that mountain. But I remember seeing this really wild theory that Wartwood was like on top of like a giant monster, and then like the mountains were its teeth. I don't know. That was just some really like metal stuff back in the day.
Yeah, pretty metal. um, yeah, the maps are back on the topic of maps. They're like, um, they
Inc-
were like in season one. There were
Inconsistent.
yeah, very inconsistent. Like in season one, there were a few. I think there were like three or four, and none of them added up.
And then we get like Anne's room, the basement, and like Sprig is like, how old is Sprig? Like I think 10.
I'm
Just a
very
cute
sure
scene
it's
with the toy.
10.
I just really like that cute scene with the stuffed animals, and then like Anne just gives him that like that I don't want to say smug, just like the smirk.
Oh my god.
And then like when she's alone, she like opens the box and like she just tries like opening it again, and nothing's happening. But I think other than Anne or Beast, we don't really see the box until I think it was Anne versus Wild. Yeah, so a few episodes later, which normally would feel like that would be a few months for us in terms of airing schedule, but in this case, Amphibia had the bomb format in season 1, so we saw that the week after.
Yeah. Are we are we gonna go on to best Fronds? Because that's the one I really want to talk about.
I know fall. Because I know I was just trying to see like what else we could talk about Anne or Beast, but I do
I
think
know. Yeah,
Best Franz
it's
was the
time. It's time.
that
Um
Best Franz definitely had a lot more
yeah, more to
it gave
talk
us a
about.
lot more insight, a lot more insight into
Dynamic.
the
Dynamic.
group dynamic. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with Anne and Sprig.
Yeah, so especially like Best Franz like shows up with like the few minutes of Anne and the girls on Earth prior to like getting teleported, and like Anne like we could see like there's no dialogue, but we know obviously like Anne is like being like peer pressured. Actually, no, Anne has that one line about like, oh, you can do this, Anne. But like Anne is basically being peer pressured to steal the box from the thrift store, and then like Anne wakes up thinking it's all a dream, and then like realizing it's not a dream. And
Yeah.
Anne, uh, Sprig is really like Sprig is a good kid, where he like offers to be Anne's friend. Like that was such a wholesome moment. And then they want to go to the beach, and then Hop Hop basically locks them in because he's paranoid. But then like eventually like they grab the key and they head out to that lake. And Sprig like Anne really it was like I don't want to say hard to watch, but like Anne was really like you can
She
tell
was a
how
dick.
much. Yeah, she was a dick, I
Uh,
guess,
yeah,
as
in
you said so
retro.
eloquently.
I don't know. After watching like Reunion, you get to see why, I guess. You know, like it makes
Not even
sense.
not even reunion, like even Prison Break. When you see the way Sasha acts, it's like okay, yeah,
Yeah, but in Reunion, it
it's
really
Anne's
all
friend.
comes together.
Comes
In Reunion,
together,
yeah. Like you get to see their dynamic and how like
and
and
also
friendship works.
and also when Anne asks Sprig if he has friends, like, and he's like, he mentions, "Oh, I don't have many friends here," but like, did was Ivy just non-existent at this point in the show?
Um, yeah, that
Uh,
was a little plot hole-ish, but he said he called her his acquaintance, childhood acquaintance, like um in dating season. So I guess that they put that in there just to make some sense of it.
I'm guessing Sprig never wanted to put Ivy in the friend zone. But
Yeah.
I
Um,
guess Venom. What were your thoughts on? Actually, wait, I don't. Yeah, like, what were your thoughts on like Anne or Beast? I forgot to ask you this by the end.
I like the episode.
Yeah, like the episode in general.
Yeah, I like the episode. It like it like sets up the I already said that it like sets up the town folks, the planters, and the foreshadowing of Ant's eye glow and
This is best
I
Fronds.
glow.
oh wait, what?
Pay attention next time.
No, no, no. I was asking Venom about Anne or Beast at the end because like I forgot to ask him.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
never mind.
Come on, Fall.
I'm sorry. I zoned out.
Yeah, she's too busy thinking about Sasha.
Okay. All right,
But
change the subject so everyone can forget that ever happened.
All right, let's get to the talking about the
best Fronds.
fonts.
So yeah, like Ivy was just non-existent at this point, and then I kind of when I saw the "Don't Swim" sign, it looked like my first thought was, did this frog write the sign it with his blood, his or her blood, with the
Yeah.
way it just like trails off at the end?
It did look like that someone was already dying.
Yeah. There's a lot of there's a lot of like references to death in this show. Also, I did like the at the end we kind of had like the Sasha scene, and it made it so you have really had something to like look forward to later in the season, like something that
You
was
literally.
building up anticipation.
Well, I wanted to talk about Anne and Sprig versus the snake, but okay, yeah, we can just skip to Sasha again. Thank
Right,
you,
the
Fall.
snake. Right, snake is so important.
I
I
mean,
think that's the highlight of
but
the episode.
eventually we get to a day at the aquarium makes the snake important, where it's that adventure that Hop Hop and Polly never knew about.
That is true. Yeah, I like the callbacks in A Day at the Aquarium. Those were nice.
And then we get like one of Hop Hop's books, like his like I don't want to. They're like the opposite of self-help books,
How to be an
where like
actor. Oh wait, no, was it like you're a failed actor?
no,
What now?
yeah, it's like, so you're a failed actor, I think.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Oh yeah,
perfect
it
setup
actually
for
does say
the-
that.
Yeah, that's perfect setup for the for the season 2 episode.
A caravan named Desire, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
And then like we get a lot of like the crew really likes making the frogs act like Muppets. Because like in the first segment we have like not Polly, Wally like screaming in, like flailing his arms, and then even in Best Fronds we have like Hop Hop like flailing around when he thinks Anne ate everyone.
Yeah.
And
Oh my god.
I just thought it was hilarious how like Hop Hop like woke up from a nap and thought Anne like managed to like eat everyone in town somehow.
Yeah. Good shit. I also
But then
I liked how much
oh
sorry. I liked how much
and-
the show like was given to work with Anne, like how bad she was in Best Fronds, like how badly she treated Sprig. That made her development like really noticeable by the end of the season. Like it's a really like smooth transition, so it's hard to notice if you're just watching the season, but if you like watch Reunion and then go back to Best Fronds, like it's so obvious, which makes it really cool.
yeah, like Rook was saying in the chat, like it shows like how Sprig was like a good influence for her.
Yeah.
And even Anne isn't like Anne's not unlikable, but like she has like a lot of room to grow, and like, but they still like the show still made her like likable enough where like, and even when she messes up, she at least like recognizes her faults.
Yeah. Like she still has like a moral compass. She's just like, you know, you know.
Yeah. And I guess before we get into like the final scene, like Venom, what were your thoughts on Best Fronds?
It did set up the flashback scene already set up the idea of Anne being peer pressure, and later in the episode, Anne's like toxic behavior traits of being around like uh, Sasha, like since for the longest as established in the show since kindergarten, and it did like, and the mistakes that Anne did, like she recognized her mistakes to make up to it, to Sprig. And at the end of the day, it will like will like make up for the faults in her choices.
And yeah, especially when Anne's giving her like rationale, like her argument to Sprig, and like I'm looking up the transcript. If your friend likes new shoes, you give them to her. And if a friend wants you to steal a crazy music box from a thrift store, you do it anyway. Oh, you do it even if you don't really want to. Like, oh man, like looking. I watched the episode last night. Like I rewatched it last night, and just like after everything that went down in like the show in general, I guess it's just I don't know. That really it really makes you like think or feel, I guess. But I guess we can talk about like the final scene where Doris, no, not Polly and Doris, Sasha and Grime, and so I don't know how Grime was like how the Toads found Anne's other shoe. I guess
It
uh
was probably
if
somewhere
I
They
it was
said
like mostly forests or something.
like Grimes said it was like somewhere in like the South Forest where they found the shoe.
Yeah. And they don't have shoes like that in Amphibia. They only have like boots, I think.
I mean like Anne's shoe, yeah, like Anne's shoe is like probably like one of a kind amphibia, and then Grime looked at it and was like, I do not recognize this drip. It's like this is definitely like some otherworldly stuff.
Among drip.
But
All right.
but it was really like
I mean,
I
it
remember
was
at
good.
the time it was a big like I don't want to say it's a big twist, but like it definitely confirmed to everyone that like Anne wasn't the only one like trapped in this world. If like
Yeah.
people hadn't seen the I guess if people were like doubtful about like the very first shot of the intro where like all the girls are like caught in the blast, at least the confirmed that Sasha and most likely Marcy are in Amphibia.
Yeah. And I feel like it really did a good job of showing like the contrast between frogs and toads and their like um in the and how they like work. And with like
Yeah,
how different Anne and Sasha's like conditions are, like living conditions.
yeah. Eventually, we see like Sasha manages to like turn things around in her like predicament. But yeah, like we when we see Wartwood, it's like a very like bright and pleasant place, and then like we just cut away to like Sasha in jail in the dark, like in the rain too, and even like the final shot of Anne, like even though like the scene is like dark because it's nighttime, like she's surrounded by like the blue light of the mushrooms. And even remember when we thought Grime was going to be a big villain?
Yes, I remember that. Oh my god. Yeah. The real villain was Andreas all along.
I mean,
And, like the first
like
time you see Andreas, it's so obvious. I don't even know how that was like a discussion.
even when we saw Grime, like we knew he wouldn't be like we knew he wouldn't be like the final boss. But now that like when I think about it, like like Grime didn't really show up at all. Didn't show up too much in season one. Like he had this segment, best Fronds, Prison Break, and then
The
Reunion.
and
And
don't
yeah, that's
forget
pretty much it,
his
right?
don't forget Rhyme's little small cameo appearance at the end of what episode 19B and
Oh,
of the
end of the
year.
year, yeah.
Yeah. End of the Year was really good.
Yeah, like but and also Grimes' design was pretty much like unchanged, I think, from the
Pilot.
pilot reel. Like him and Anne were the only characters that didn't really go too much of an extreme change, and Hop Hop, I guess. And then did we cover everything?
I believe so.
I really liked all the gags. Oh, like the hot pepper gag with Sprig. Like I don't know where he stored those peppers though. Like if he was in the pool.
You don't want to know.
Oh no.
Oh no. And then I also noticed that like I think Hop Hop's because like, Sprig's voice like there's like an obvious change with the I
Yeah,
forgot
like
Justin's last name. Like the Sprig's voice actor, like he grew up a little bit. Like he grew up and then his voice changed a little bit. Polly's voice is a little bit more like nasally, I
un
guess. And then Hop Hop's voice has a little bit more of like a how do I describe like a southern like Hop Hop's voice like is already like and Bill Farmer is like a southern accent, but like here it seems more like exaggerated, I guess. Like I probably need to like watch like more like season one episodes and then compare them to like season two. Like I feel like season two was more of Bill Farmer's voice and that than season one.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I don't know. Personally, I like the humor of season one more than season 2, and the whole feeling. But like season 2 is really good for like plot stuff, you know?
I mean, I I didn't think season 1, season two's humor changed too much. Like I think it stayed the stayed the same, except like
It did.
I
There was a
think
little less of it here. There was a little bit less of it.
I think just here like the how do I describe this? Like when the voice actors like deliver, there's more occasions where the voice actors in season 1 just have to deliver like really simple lines and then make them sound hilarious. While like season 2 has like more jokes, I guess.
Oh yeah,
Um,
the first season did happen to have like a lot of those exaggerated one-liners when season 2 had a less but with like a balance on how the execution of the joke delivers.
yeah, like, I think one of my favorite Sprig lines is like after they beat the snake, like Spriggs like screams out death approaching while they swim away.
Oh yeah, death is approaching. Yeah, that was funny. One of my favorite episodes for the humor is Stakeout. That's one of my favorites of season 1. It was just so funny.
Yeah. And we don't. How many times do we see Polly's rolling pin? Because I feel like we see it in another episode, but I think we only see it here.
I think only this episode. I don't know. It's been some time I've watched the first season, but not like too long ago.
But like I guess like Polly, like I think like the mace becomes like Polly's default weapon in season 1, which I guess is a good upgrade. And like even for this first season, like I remember like thinking about like how beautiful like the backgrounds are on this show. Like the first scene like of Wartwood, like, it's like there's so much detail in the background.
Yeah, the background art is amazing in this show.
And then the first time like one of the shots of the planner's house, like it had to have like some firefly, not the giant fireflies, but like tiny like fireflies for like a lighting effect, and that was nice. And then
Yeah.
I think Matt mentioned in an interview like about a year ago about how like they wanted like the scenes on Earth to look like very like dull and bland compared to like the color in Amphibia, which is like
Yeah, that's noticeable.
yeah.
Like you
But then oh yeah, go ahead, Fall.
No, that's it. You can go.
Oh okay, because like even though like they made Earth look as bland as possible, like now that in season 3 that they're heading back to Earth, like that season 3 intro gave it a lot more color. And we also have the I can't look at the outro, the credits the same way I did before after True Colors. Because before it was just like a pleasant, like peaceful outro. And then like after True Colors, it's now like the emotional backbone of the Anne and Sprig friendship. I guess, did we cover? I think we've covered most of episode 1.
Yeah, we
Is there
did.
any, I guess, Venom, any final thoughts on both these episodes?
Um, no, like that's pretty much all that there is to cover.
All right, and how about you, Fall?
Hmm. Yeah, I think we covered mostly everything. Um, I don't know. I thought they were really good for setting up the story and setting up like future plot points and all that. Like Amphibia is really good with its build up.
Yeah, like I'm looking back, like I'm glad episode 1 didn't tease us with like too much of like the grand scheme of things. Like it was mostly the box and Sasha that were basically like the I guess the elements of the show that we know things are going to be like the show's going to like the show's like story
Yeah, it's gonna
is
be
going to
delving.
be like bigger. Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah.
big. It's gonna be bigger than this.
It was really
And
good
like
for keeping me invested.
yeah, and I remember how much like the design of the Calamity box itself like really drew my interest.
Yeah,
Where it's definitely yeah, it feels like an like even in Amphibia,
like an
like
artifact.
it doesn't yeah, it doesn't feel like it feels like something like really like I don't want to say yeah,
Otherworldly.
really old. Yeah, otherworldly, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get you.
A
Yeah. All right, I think we pretty much covered everything, but I do want to say that like season 1, there was like a lot of stuff that you didn't think was going to be important that actually was, like how popular, and like watching it all the first time was like, I don't know, you think like, oh, when's it going to pick up? But then like after you watch the whole show, like it's so easy to just go back and watch those episodes and like really like them because of how you know like what they're setting up in the future.
yeah, like rewatching season 1, like even rewatching like I've seen Anner Beast and Best Fronds like a few times, like I guess maybe a few months ago, but like even watching it again after after season 2, like it feels really rewarding to like watch to see where these like characters started off.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know, like when I was first watching it for like the first time, I thought like it was like, I don't know, while I was watching season 1, I thought it was like wasting time or something. But now it's like so easy to go back and look at them and like watch them. I don't know, they're really like when you don't like when you aren't expecting plot to pick up or like aren't looking for that, they're really really nice to just watch on their own cuz like they have really good humor and stuff. And like you just know that um they were there for like the build up, and it's really like rewarding having like all those episodes just dedicated to character moments and stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking at the scene where like Hop Hop's like sleeping, like sleep reading or whatever, and I feel like this shot is similar to what we see in Anne versus Wild. Like I'm trying to quick check this as quickly as I can.
Oh man, I haven't watched Anne versus Wild in a long time, but I know that one was really good because like um a lot of people would think like, oh, it's like it's filler, like skip it. like but the ending is like so important. And if you think and you have that kind of mindset where it's like, oh, skip all the filler, you're gonna miss like the important stuff that's actually in those filler episodes, you know?
Like I posted in the chat, like look at those shots between Anne versus Wild and Best Fronds.
You take a look.
I don't know. Like
Oh, yeah, that's the exact same thing. The only thing that's different really is the lighting.
the lighting, and then like Hop Up has like more books everywhere, and
Yeah, like I don't know. It's cool how like just a change of lighting can make things look like so much more ominous. It's cool. All right. Well,
yeah. I
yeah.
yeah, I'm surprised I even like caught that.
Yeah, you got a good eye thumb.
Yeah, hopefully like I remember this and bring it up again when we talk about Anne versus Wild. But I guess like that pretty much concludes this week's episode, I think. And then next week we'll probably talk like next week we will talk about Kane Crazy and Flood Sweat and Tears. But I guess Venom, any final thoughts?
No.
All right. And Fall, any last thoughts?
Nah, not really. I pretty much said everything.
All right. So thank you guys for coming on today, and we'll see you all next week when we cover episode 2. Say goodnight, everyone.
All right, good
Good
night
night.
or good morning, depending on the time zone.
Oh, right. Time zones, and also this isn't this isn't live anymore.
Oh wait, it isn't. Oh shit. Okay. All right. Well, good night, good day, whatever.